They say birthdays are for surprises, but mine turned into a nightmare. One moment I was cutting my cake, smiling beside the woman I loved. The next, I watched her disappear into the dark with my best friend. That night, something inside me broke, and when I break, I don't heal. I burn. It started like every other celebration. Warm lights, laughter, familiar faces. The smell of vanilla cake filled the room. Friends clapped, cameras flashed, music played softly in the background. It was my 27th birthday, a night that was supposed to be about joy, about love. And she was there, Elena. Her eyes glowing like amber under the lights, her smile the reason I believed in happy endings. We'd been together for 3 years. She'd helped me through my lowest times, or so I thought. My best friend Ryan was there too, the kind of friend who knows your secrets before you speak. The guy who'd stood next to me since high school, who once said, "We're brothers, no matter what. The three of us, we were inseparable." Until that night. The party was perfect. Everyone said so. But something about Elena felt off. She was distant. Her laughter too forced, her touch too careful. When I kissed her, she pulled away a fraction too soon. I told myself I was imagining it, that maybe she was tired or stressed, but then I saw the look, a glance, barely a second long, exchanged between her and Ryan. Something shifted in my chest, a quiet, cold whisper. Don't ignore that. Still, I smiled through it, cut the cake, made the wish, pretended everything was fine, but that whisper didn't stop. Later that night, after everyone left, I started cleaning up. Elena said she needed some air. Ryan offered to walk her out. 15 minutes passed, then 30. The street outside was empty, except for her car, still parked under the lamp. I tried calling her. No answer. Then I called Ryan, straight to voicemail. Something snapped inside me. I grabbed my jacket and stepped into the cold. Their laughter reached me before I saw them. Around the corner, behind the tall hedges near the old oak, I heard her voice. Soft, intimate, then his, and then silence, followed by a sound I'll never forget. A quiet moan. My body froze. The world stopped. I didn't need to see more, but I did. There they were. Elena, Ryan, kissing like lovers, touching like strangers who'd been waiting forever, on my birthday. Under that cold streetlight, every memory, every promise, shattered. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there, watching. The cake on my hands still smelled sweet. But in my chest, something dark was forming. She pulled away from him and whispered something I'll never forget. "He's too good for me. He'll never know," Ryan laughed. "He's too blind to ever find out." That's when I knew. They weren't sorry. They were proud of it. I went home in silence. The house was still warm with leftover laughter, but it felt haunted now. I sat in the dark, their voices still echoing in my head. Part of me wanted to destroy everything, her photos, the gifts, the memories. But another part, the quieter, colder part, whispered something else. Don't react. Plan. The next morning, I woke up different, calm, focused. The pain was still there, but it wasn't wild anymore. It was sharp, controlled. She came home pretending nothing happened. A soft smile. A kiss on my cheek. "You fell asleep early," she said. I looked at her and smiled back. Yeah, I guess I did. She thought she'd fooled me. And that was her first mistake. For the next few weeks, I played the perfect boyfriend. I laughed when she laughed. Cooked her breakfast. Held her hand, but behind every touch, I was studying her. Her routine. Her patterns. Her phone habits. Ryan's name always popped up. "Work project," she said. I didn't confront her. I didn't need to, because I wasn't looking for the truth anymore. I was building something much bigger. Her downfall. Ryan worked at my company. I'd helped him get that job. He was reckless, careless, and Elena, she worked at a PR firm that handled sensitive clients, the kind of place where one mistake could end your career. I knew them both better than anyone. their weaknesses, their fears, their secrets, and I was going to use every single one. It started small. I created a fake client email and reached out to Elena through her work, a potential confidential deal. Something tempting, something she couldn't ignore. She took the bait. Desperate to impress her boss, she began communicating, sending files, details, all through company channels. What she didn't know, every message was being redirected to me. At the same time, I planted something for Ryan, a little digital footprint linking him to insider leaks. It wasn't hard. He reused passwords. All I needed was patience. A month later, I had everything. Screenshots, emails, call logs, proof that could destroy both their careers. But I wasn't done. Because revenge isn't about ruining someone instantly. It's about making them watch their world collapse, piece by piece, until they realize you were the one holding it up all along. Elena started sensing something was wrong. Her boss called her into meetings more often. Clients stopped replying to her emails. Ryan was no better. He came to me one day, nervous, sweating. "Man, something's off with the systems. Someone's been using my login." I almost laughed. Instead, I said, "Don't worry. I'll look into it." That night, I deleted his backups. Every document, every record, gone. Meanwhile, Elena's company launched an internal audit. Someone had leaked client data. Guess whose account it traced back to? The next morning, she was suspended. She called me in tears. "I swear I didn't do anything wrong," she sobbed, and I said the words I'd rehearsed for weeks. "I believe you, Elena. I'll help you figure it out." Because the best revenge doesn't start with destruction. It starts with hope. She thought she still had me. She thought I was on her side. Every night she cried in my arms while Ryan started avoiding her. He'd stopped calling, stopped answering her messages. He was too busy saving himself. I watched them both crumble from different corners of my life. Two people who had once shared a secret, now suffocating in guilt and fear, and I wasn't finished yet. There's a strange calm that comes when you stop caring about consequences. When you've already lost everything that mattered, all that's left is the clarity of revenge. I hacked into Ryan's email and sent an anonymous tip to HR, accusing him of manipulating financial reports. Within days, he was suspended too. His panic was delicious. He called me that night. "Bro, I think someone's framing me," and I said, "Maybe you pissed off the wrong person." He didn't catch the tone. But Elena did. She started asking questions. "Why are all these things happening at once? Why are you so calm about it?" I looked at her and smiled. Maybe karma just knows where to find people. Her eyes trembled. For the first time, I saw fear in them, not guilt, not shame, fear. And that's when I realized she still didn't know how deep I'd gone. The real twist was still waiting. Because while she was losing her job, I was working on something else, something final, a public reveal, a moment she could never escape from. I collected every message between her and Ryan, every photo, every timestamp, every dirty secret they thought was hidden, and I planned to show it, not to the world, but to the one person who'd destroy her completely. Her father. He was a strict man, proud, traditional, the kind who believed in loyalty and reputation. He adored me, called me the son he never had. I knew what this would do to him, and to her, so I set up a meeting, told him I had something he needed to see. He arrived, polite as ever, and when I handed him the folder, he smiled. Until he opened it, the smile faded. His hands trembled. "Is this recent?" he asked. I nodded once. "She's been seeing him behind my back for months. On my birthday, too." The silence that followed felt endless. He said nothing else, just stood, left the folder, and walked away. I knew that was enough. That night, Elena came home crying. Her father had cut her off, completely. No money, no support, nothing. She collapsed on the floor, shaking. "I don't know what's happening to me," she whispered, and I looked at her, the woman who'd once been my world, and said softly, "You're finally getting what you gave." She stared at me, confusion turning into realization. Her lips parted. You did this? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The silence said everything. She screamed, cursed, begged, all in one breath. But the calm inside me never broke. I just watched her crumble. Piece by piece, the girl who ruined my birthday was watching her own life burn down in front of her. And that was only the beginning, because the deeper part of my revenge, the one she could never escape from, was still waiting to be revealed, to be continued. She screamed at me until her voice cracked. Every word, every tear, bounced off me like rain on stone. The truth was out now. There was no going back. She tried to grab the folder to destroy the evidence. I let her, because I already had copies, saved, backed up, and sent to places she could never reach. I didn't want her apology. I didn't want her tears. I wanted her silence. That night she packed her things and left. The sound of her suitcase wheels scraping the floor still echoes in my head. I watched her walk out the door, the same door she once walked in through, smiling, holding a cake for my last birthday. She didn't look back. Neither did I, but revenge. It doesn't end when they leave. It ends when they have nothing left to hide behind. A few weeks passed. The world went quiet. Too quiet, Ryan was fired. His company found irregularities in his files. Ones I made sure led straight to him. His girlfriend, yes, he had one, found out too. She left him after reading the messages I sent anonymously. He called me once, voice shaking. "Everything's falling apart, man. I don't know what's happening." I said nothing. Just listened to him drown in the chaos he created. He was desperate. I could hear it. That quiet panic in his breath. Then he said it. "I think Elena's gone too. She won't pick up my calls." I smiled to myself. Because I already knew where she was. She'd moved back to her mother's house, jobless, broke. Her father refused to see her. I saw a picture of her once, online. Someone had tagged her at a small diner. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair messy. She looked empty. I should have felt satisfied. But I didn't, because revenge isn't clean. It's messy. It eats at you quietly until you can't tell if you're winning or losing. At night, I'd still hear her laugh, the one that used to fill my apartment. Now it just echoed in the dark like a ghost. I told myself I didn't miss her, but part of me did. Not the liar she became, but the girl I thought she was. One evening, while I was closing up at work, I saw an email come through. No subject. Just one line inside. "You got what you wanted. Are you happy now?" It was from her. For a moment, my hands froze over the keyboard. I wanted to reply, to tell her yes, that this was justice. But I couldn't type a word, because deep down, I knew no one wins in revenge. You just drag each other through hell until you forget who started it. I deleted the email, but her voice, her last words, stayed. Weeks turned into months. Life started to look normal again. But I wasn't the same. I became quieter, more distant. Friends stopped asking what happened between us. They could see the answer in my eyes. Ryan left town. Rumor was he'd been blacklisted from every major firm in the city. He tried starting over somewhere else, but his reputation followed him like a shadow. As for Elena, she disappeared from social media. Vanished completely. Until one night, it was late. Rain tapping against the windows. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A video file. No text. I hesitated for a moment. Then pressed play. The screen lit up. A dimly lit room. A shaky camera. And then, her face. Elena. Eyes swollen. Voice trembling. "This is for you," she whispered. "You wanted me to lose everything. Congratulations." She looked straight into the lens. Straight into me. "You got your revenge. But remember, you killed me long before this." Then she reached for something out of frame. A small bottle. Pills. My heart stopped. She stared at the camera one last time. "I loved you. Even when I was stupid. Even when I destroyed everything." Then she swallowed them. The video ended. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The room spun. The rain outside grew louder, or maybe it was just the sound of my heartbeat. I replayed the video, searching for signs it was fake, but the fear in her eyes was real. The shaking hands, the quiet sob, the final breath. I called the police. They traced the message. They found her the next day. She was alive, barely. She'd sent the video minutes before collapsing. Her mother found her unconscious. They saved her, but she was never the same. I visited her once, at the hospital. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted to see what was left of the person I destroyed. She looked fragile, smaller somehow. When she saw me, her eyes widened, not in hate, but in disbelief. "You came?" she whispered. I stood there speechless. She smiled faintly. "Guess you got tired of winning." I didn't answer, because she was right. Revenge gives you power, but it doesn't give you peace. After a long silence, she said, "I'm sorry." It wasn't an excuse. It wasn't for forgiveness. It was just a truth she needed to say before it was too late. And for the first time, I felt something crack inside me. Not anger, not guilt, something deeper. I wanted to tell her I was sorry too, but I didn't. I just turned and left. Her voice followed me out of the room. "Don't let this be the only thing you remember about us." That night, I couldn't sleep. Her words kept looping in my mind. I realized something brutal. Revenge had turned me into everything I hated. I thought I'd made her pay for what she did. But the truth, I'd been punishing myself just as much. All those nights replaying the betrayal. All those plans, traps, lies. They'd chained me to her, even after she was gone. I didn't ruin her life. We ruined each other's. Months later, I moved to a new city. A fresh start. No familiar faces. No ghosts. I deleted every message, every photo, every file. But her face, her voice, stayed. You can't erase people who once meant everything. One day, while walking home from work, I passed a street musician. He was playing our song, the one that used to play the night she told me she loved me. For a moment, everything came rushing back. The laughter, the warmth, the way she used to look at me before the lies. And in that moment, I understood something. Revenge doesn't fix heartbreak. It only teaches you how deep it can go. A year later, I got another message. No name. Just a short voice note. I played it. It was her. "I'm better now. I got help. I'm working again. I don't expect you to care, but I wanted you to know I survived. I hope you did too." The message ended. For the first time in a long time, I felt still no anger, no hate, just the weight of everything we'd done, finally lifting. I typed one sentence back. "I'm glad you made it." Then I put my phone down and watched the sunset through the window. Sometimes I think about her. Not with rage, but with quiet sorrow. Because once upon a time, we could have had it all, if only love hadn't turned into a weapon. I still remember that birthday. The night everything ended. The cake, the laughter. The betrayal, it broke me. But it also taught me something I'll never forget. You can destroy someone's life out of revenge. But you'll always be standing in the ashes too. They say time heals everything. Maybe it does. But scars don't fade. They just stop hurting. I've learned to live with mine, to move on, to forgive, even when forgiveness feels impossible. Because in the end, revenge might give you closure, but it will never give you peace. And peace, that's the real revenge.